Okay. So have you had an astrology reading before?
Yeah, I sure did. In fact, in that reading that was 20 years ago, she had drawn a line up from Charlotte on the west side of Charlotte, and she's like, "You're gonna move somewhere around here," and I'm like, "No way!" And then I ended up moving here. Yeah.
I love it. Do you live on the water or near water?
Not anymore. I used to.
Okay.
My whole life.
Yeah. Okie doke. Right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through some timings. So that kind of helps me with some. Oh, hang on. 2 seconds. Switch that off. So that tells me what kinds of the information that I've got. Sort of helps me with moving forward. Okay. So I'm going to take you back to 1985.
Okay.
And you would have been about 21.
Yep, 21, 22. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anything significant can you think of, or anything kind of going on for you?
I was in a car accident then.
Right. Okay. Okay.
And then everything changed after that.
Okay. And were you badly injured or?
No, not too bad.
No.
Broke a clavicle.
Okay.
But financially, I was ruined.
Okay. And then, okay, I keep getting, I never got this back this far, but I know I just keep, when I had your chart, I was like, asking about 1970. You would have been about 7.
Yeah, we moved from Canada to San Diego.
Canada. Okay. Don't know why I needed to ask you that, but it'll come out. It was just something like age 7. Okay. So moving forward, 1992. You'd have been about 28.
Yeah.
29. Anything kind of?
Yeah, that's when. I was in the middle of my business. It was doing really well then. I was single. Yeah, I don't know exactly what was happening then.
Okay. Okay. And then 1999.
Then I got married to Lily.
Okay. Okay, and then 2006.
That's approximately when the market started crashing.
And were you doing anything to do with, because I've got you written down here, real estate or investing in homes or redecorating homes or doing something like that?
Yeah. I was doing all that.
Right. Okay.
All real estate, all renovating houses, investing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then 2014.
2014. Well, 2013 was when Joshua came.
Okay.
So 2014 was when the first book was published. Yeah, so it was really, the first book was started in November of 2013 and was finished in 2014.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
And then 2021, so 2021.
2021 was when the Ascension Experience started. Which was the next big phase.
Okay. Okay, the reason for me asking you these questions is to do with planet Saturn. And Saturn moves around the chart, the astrology chart, and it takes around between 28 to 30 years to come back to the time and place it was when you were born. You have Saturn in the sign of Capricorn, which is its natural placement. So, and it's just at the top of your chart. So for you, business, money, finance is always going to be important to you. It's always something that you've done, enjoy, and it's always something that was kind of going to be an impact in your life.
Yeah.
Under True Sidereal, you were born under the constellation of Sagittarius. In Tropical, you would be a Capricorn, but you were born under the constellation of Sagittarius.
Okay.
But you have your Mercury in Capricorn. So what that means is you think like a Capricorn. So it can be sometimes very rigid in certain ways of doing things, but it can also be, Capricorn is the epitome of an entrepreneur. Whenever I see a Capricorn, I always think, okay, they've got to be an entrepreneur, or they've got to be doing something in business. And it's kind of like that mountain goat that goes to the top of the mountain, that is kind of always overseeing. So you see a lot of kind of Capricorns, either CEOs or managers or doing things like that. So for you, you think like a Capricorn. So you speak direct. Everything has to be, and you're very articulate in the business that you do. Your North Node is also in the sign of Cancer. So what that means is you're always going to do work, whether that's work from home, but it's also work that you enjoy and you're compassionate with the work that you do. It has to have some sort of meaning to you in the work that you do. So anything that you've done in the past, like your real estate or the work that you've done with the homes or buying, that kind of thing, that's always it's in your chart. You were always going to do it. But your whole of your chart is hyper sensitive. So I don't know how you feel about that, but you was super sensitive, super psychic. So it was always going to be that. So when we look at kind of like the ecosystem of a chart, we look at kind of what's the makeup of the chart. So you have what's called a Pisces ascendant. And what that means is your health, body, and how you kind of function on a daily basis, you need to look after your health, what you eat. So I would say that you have, if you haven't already, you might have had like allergies or certain sensitivities to food. You can't eat certain things that other people would find it normal, but you can't eat them. It's just something
like
in your, yeah, there we go. So there's something in your body that just kind of, it doesn't work. And because Pisces rules the feet and the toes and the immune system, you're always going to have something that if you are kind of out of alignment or you feel kind of like it's going to show up somewhere.
Yeah, I have plantar fasciitis all the time, and I had gout before.
Yeah. So it's always good. So if you're out of alignment, it's going to show up somewhere. And because you have a Sagittarius sun, and I'm a Sagittarius sun as well, so it's important that you do hip exercises, because you might often have problems with your hip or almost kind of your lower thigh. And what that means is sometimes when that comes in, it's almost kind of a fear of moving forward. And it's kind of like, okay, if I'm fearful of doing something, and as I say, Joshua always talks about push past the fear, but if you're fearful of doing something because your Capricorn mind is saying, no, let's wait on this, but your Sagittarius sun is saying, no, you need to do that, you just have to kind of push through that. And this Sagittarius energy is very much about that spiritual seeker, that spiritual teacher, that, you know, that guide. And you do this role as a Sagittarius sun through your Pisces rising. So you do have this mystical flair. So you were always going to do something spiritual. You just need to kind of get. So would you say as a child that you had kind of, did you notice capabilities or these kind of things, or was it sort of something later on?
No, but I knew it was a complete surprise to me. But you know, I was always very emotional. And I have realized now that I could always see who people really were. Absolutely. Right. Yeah. And this is the issue that I've had, is that because they can see who they are and they can't, they love it at the beginning, but then they can't live up to what I see, you know.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so they find a reason to leave.
Yeah. And that's it, because of this sort of sensitivity. So do you know anything about your birth or when your mother was pregnant with you? Do you know anything about that? Okay. You have Chiron in the sign of Aquarius, and Chiron is what we call this kind of wounded healer. It kind of comes in sort of 3 stages. It's usually the initial wound, and then it's the healing, and then it's kind of the gift that you kind of share with others. So you have it in the sign of Aquarius. So that could be that you might have had some sort of trigger around being or feeling rejected or abandonment.
Yeah, total.
And this kind of ties in with kind of when your mother was pregnant with you. Because of the placement of where you have Chiron, it sits in, I would probably say 6 or 7 months, even maybe 8 months when she was pregnant with you. She might have experienced some sort of rejection or feeling abandoned by maybe people around her. And because it ties in your 11th house, it's always going to be a little bit of a trigger for you in sort of social settings. So even it could be work, it could be community, it could be people that you kind of have surrounded yourself with in the past. There's always been, as you say, they've always left you, but you've always felt then there's this deeper kind of fear of rejection. And then it can sometimes then stop you kind of moving forward.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So this kind of, and you have it at 12 degrees. So the number 12 is all about the victim. And it can be sometimes that with a feeling of victim. And we talk about, Joshua talks about the victim all the time. But because of this, where it sits, the work that you've done or the work that you're continuing to do, you might find that this will always kind of come up. But that's the work that you kind of do anyway, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
You help so many people. But you also have Jupiter there as well. So Jupiter sits there, and Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So you're going to do great things with the community, with a wider kind of world. And because it's in Aquarius, you're going to reach so many people, if not already, with the work that you do online.
Yeah.
And it's kind of going to tick off at such a pace.
When's it going to take off?
At the minute, Jupiter's in Pisces. So I would say the last sort of, the last several years, it's been in kind of Aquarius. So you've had this almost kind of significant growth to the business that you kind of, it happened sort of very fast, that it sort of took you by surprise, I suppose.
Yeah.
And at the minute, you're going through what we call a Mars transit and its cycle. And because it's sitting in your 12th house, this is all about kind of, now is the time to sort of, I would probably say the next few months, but up until now, it's been a case of just slowing down, almost percolating ideas.
Right.
That are starting to come through, new creative ideas, whether that's working with different partners or doing something creative. Are you changing aspects within the business, whether that's branding, or are you doing something with a website? Are you doing something to kind of
the website's being
change
totally
it?
the website's being totally overhauled.
Okay.
It's almost done, and there's a new program that we're starting where we're and I just got the name of it last night, which is Spiritual Alliance of Leaders and Teachers of the Earth, which is Salt of the Earth.
Oh, I love that.
And so it'll be a group of people like you who are doing something spiritual, and we have this community of all of us, and we'll have a website, everyone is there, we'll have weekly calls, and that then people can find you on this directory.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it'll be, horse, astrology here, and podcast here, and channel here, and aura readings here, and all these things. Reiki.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah, definitely. Because it's kind of this expansion of Jupiter sitting here in your 11th house. It's only going to get bigger. But what will not so much stop you, but will also maybe kind of sometimes slow you down is this deep fear of rejection.
Yeah.
If I go too big, will I be rejected?
Right.
If I do this, if I go that direction, is somebody going to like it? And all those kind of things. But you've got Jupiter there. Jupiter's going to say to you, no, no, no. Jupiter's the lucky star. It says to, it can only get bigger. It can only, but it's about having the right people around you. It's having the right support system, the people that you might put in place to help you get where you need to go, and not always do things on your own, because you're so capable of doing everything. But it's sometimes and because you're so sensitive in your energy, you also need to kind of step back sometimes and allow other people to, but it's your baby. A lot of the things that you do is kind of like what it's you, it's how you created it, but it's about having the right people around you that will help you grow and take the business where you want it to go. So your moon is in Taurus. Now, Taurus moon is very much about, again, it's control. It's sort of holding on. It rules the throat, it rules the thyroid, it also rules the lower teeth. And what it can sometimes do, it loves that sensuality of nice food, nice wine. It likes, that's kind of, it's ruled by Venus. So it's very much about those five senses and all those delicious things. But there is a shadow side to Taurus, and it will sometimes have a deep fear that everything will be taken away from them. Everything will be lost. Yeah. So if I do this sort of thing. So around the age of kind of, I want to say 2 to 3, can you remember anything that was going on significantly in the home?
Well, we moved from South Africa to Canada.
Yeah.
And through another process I did of muscle testing, realized that I was taken from my nanny, who I thought was my mother, right? Yeah.
Hi, beautiful.
You okay?
Yes, I'm gonna go swimming.
Oh, wonderful. Lovely.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Debbie.
See you.
Bye, sweetie.
Yeah. So and then Christy, who's become a full-on medium.
Okay.
So she gets up in the middle of the night and she sings this song in another language, and she writes down these words. And so I type the words in Google and find the song that she's singing, which is a traditional Zulu lullaby.
Oh my goodness, I got chills now.
Got chills,
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So around that age, and because the moon is ruled by the mother, it's also our emotions, it's our kind of karma. There would have been some sort of, whether that's a trigger or some sort of trauma to you about being lost or almost kind of losing control or losing something.
Yeah.
So that would explain kind of, as you say, that what you were experiencing. Moving forward, age 3 to 7, where were you kind of, were you settled somewhere then, or?
We were in Canada, but we had lived in 3 different places. And when I was 6, my mother lost me in a grocery store. And so I eventually left the grocery store after a long time and started to walk home. And then I see her up ahead strolling my brother. And so from that I got the limiting belief that nobody cares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And because your North Node is in Cancer, and where it sits in the placement of your chart, that tells me that something around compassion, feeling sort of secure and safe in the home would have been kind of bubbling up for you. So, but it also has helped you because the North Node is our kind of our gift, it's our sort of, we call it our shortcut to enlightenment, what we're here to do in this lifetime. So it's given you the gift of compassion and also being a caretaker for so many people, being that father figure, that sort of dad figure that wants to be able to help and support people, but also see the beauty and who, as you say, who they are at
Yeah.
such a deeper level and hold space for them, which is perfectly what you do in Joshua. So 7 to 13, can you think of anything that would kind of been going on for you that you would class as maybe transformational, or something that would have sparked?
7 to 13. So we moved to South Africa when I was 10 and lived there for a year, and then moved back to the States after that. So that was transformational.
Okay.
I got to see all my family I'd never met before.
Yeah. And I love it because you have the sun, the Leo in the 5th house. So as you say, moving to a warmer climate is always going to be that time. But I feel for you, this has also a lot to do with movement, that you don't sometimes feel settled, almost as if you're kind of waiting for the next move.
Yeah, but I've moved so many. I mean,
Times.
I've probably lived in maybe 25 houses in my life.
Wow.
So even when I was in Florida, I had lived there for 40 years, but lived in lots of different houses.
Yeah. So there's always movement. You've got movement in your chart. So around sort of 42. Yeah. So well, I know
42.
we checked.
Yeah. So that was 2005.
Yeah.
Everything was going great then. I mean, I was really on top of the world.
Yeah.
And I was making, $6 million a year. But I kept going. I kept pushing it, because it was never enough.
Yeah.
And then the crash hit after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the crash hit when I was 45, 44, 2006, 2007, and then found The Secret, and then found Abraham.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So when we look at kind of the ecosystem of the chart and how your kind of elements are in your chart, your biggest element, I would say, is fire. So you have a lot of fire in your chart. So movement is very important for you, in that moving your body, whether that's going for walks or just kind of sticking on some headphones and going for a hike or dancing.
Yeah, I exercise big time every day, gym every day.
Yeah.
Walk every day.
And it's really important to you, because if you don't do that, then this almost kind of, sometimes you can feel a sort of like a sluggish feeling of, and it can affect kind of all aspects, like creativity, your mental capacity, everything kind of just sort of, so you have to physically, if not physically sweat, you have to be physically moving to kind of just make sure that everything is kind of going as it's meant to kind of go. The lowest one is air. But that again is very much about sort of, but you read, you study, you do all these kind of things. So when we look at kind of a chart, and I had this realization today, and I kind of like put it in the Joshua post, because it was kind of like, we've been so taught to look at a chart and say, what is missing in a chart? There's a missing element or that kind of thing. And the realizations that I had today was that there is nothing missing in the chart.
Right.
The chart is perfect.
Perfect.
You were born exactly with the right amount of element of fire, the right amount of element of air, water, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So everything that you have is exactly how it's meant to be, kind of thing.
Yeah,
so,
for my journey of self-discovery.
Exactly. So you have Pluto in the sign of Leo. So Pluto is all about transformations. Is all about kind of, they call it sort of like the planet of death, rebirth, but what it kind of does, it kind of strips us back to kind of aspects in our life that we no longer need, or we just keep holding on, and because it's also linked to Scorpio, it can have a tendency to hold on tightly. If I hold on tightly to this relationship, if I hold on tightly to this job, but they're going to go anyway, because they're meant to go. If they're meant to go, they're meant to go. And so you have it in Leo. So you're always going to have some sort of transformational aspects in your creativity. And it's the house of fun, the fifth house is also the house of children. It's the house of love affairs. It's the house of kind of just being fun and enjoying life.
Yeah.
The only push pull in your chart is basically the opposite sign, which is Aquarius, and it sits in your 11th house of work, of community, of people. So there can be sometimes a push pull of, do I have too much fun, or do I have to get my head in and kind of serve
Right.
humanity for the bigger cause kind of thing. So it's
Right.
about finding that balance of kind of enjoying life and also serving, and you can do both.
Yeah.
But that is the only kind of, I would say, the push pull in your chart is kind of, do I do it? And because you have a Capricorn mindset, that can be sometimes work. I've got to keep doing, I've got to keep busy, I've got to do business, this kind of thing.
Right.
And your Sagittarius sun will kind of go, no, you need to have fun.
Yeah.
You need to kind of be that truth seeker, that truth finder, and kind of serve that higher self within you that you're looking for. And your your Sagittarius sun is right at the top of your chart. So you're always going to be doing something sort of business-wise. Business is always, so whether that's kind of starting up several businesses throughout your lifetime, or business is going to be, and work is going to be important to you. But again, it's that balance of, they call it that work-life balance,
Yeah.
But I always believe that the business is an extension of who you are anyway as a person. And to me, business is all about spirituality. And if you're not happy or balanced within yourself, then it's going to show up somewhere in your life.
Yeah.
And they are those kind of manifestation events that we talk about. So they're going to come in with the transits and the triggers. Is there anything that you kind of want to ask me, or is this been okay for you?
Yeah, no, it's been amazing. It's been spot on. And it's it's interesting. And the 7-year thing is over the last few years, I came to notice that things happen in 7-year increments. If you think of 0 to 7, how different you are in that stage.
Yeah.
And the beginning is like a birth of a new person.
Absolutely.
And then sort of a graduation to a next level.
Yeah.
Then you sort of start over, right? And it seems like the early years of that are the more difficult ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first year is fun, but the second year is more work and little stuff going on here. Yeah.
Exactly. Because you don't have a lot of emphasis in kind of like early years of your life. It kind of starts to kind of peter out around, I would say, between sort of like 2 or 3 onwards. That this is where you have accumulation of planets. So this tells me that there would have been some activity that was going on in your life. And because it's the placements of the planets, it could be movement, or to say, and because you have your moon at 36 degrees of Taurus, which is right at the end of Taurus. So you are on the cusp of a Gemini moon as well. So with that emphasis, it's very important for you to express your emotions and basically say what you were feeling, instead of kind of holding it in, afraid that you're going to upset somebody. Because a Gemini moon is all about how we take in this information. So Gemini is very much, it's ruled by Mercury. So it's how we take in information and how we share this information with others. And because it rules the lungs, it rules the hands, the arms, the fingers, the upper part of the mouth, and how we speak, we sometimes have a tendency to kind of hold in what we want. And because the moon rules our emotions, it's about, you need to speak your emotions. Now with a Taurus moon, again, that is very much about sort of holding in, but because it's a different energy, it's earth energy. So how you would express your emotions could be through using those 5 senses, but it could be some people express their emotions and their love through cooking a nice meal for somebody, or writing a nice card, or it's all different ways of how you express your emotions. But because of the sensitivity in your chart, I would say it ramps up your chart 100%. So it's very important for you to rest as well. Take down times of rest.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But I find now, I relax in the afternoons. I work every day, but like a day like today, there's not too much going on, so I'll just take it easy. Then go play cards tonight. And but sleep, I'm noticing I don't need that much sleep anymore.
No.
So
Yeah, and you find that because, as I say, if your body is rested enough, we don't require the rest then at the night. And I find a lot of it, especially myself going through what I've been going through lately, I could sleep all day, but I was more of a night owl. My best sort of work or my creativity sparks kind of like early hours in the morning. I'll get I'll get woken up by something from a dream or whatever, and then I'll kind of, it sets me off then to start something else when I should be sleeping. But it's kind of, everybody's different.
So along with channeling, which now I really think that I'm as clear as anyone, more clear than most people that I see out there. And then,
yeah, you've got channeling abilities like off the scale, because I did your human design chart as well, and it's like, whoa, you've got literally every psychic gate in there, every clairaudient gate in there. You get ideas, you get downloads, you get literally constantly would be getting ideas,
right,
but not all of those ideas are for you.
You're right, exactly. And I noticed that now. So but when I was a kid, I was always full of ideas. Right, and always, we had businesses in high school and college.
Yeah.
Big business in college. We were on covers of magazines and stuff in college.
I can believe that.
And failures too. We had lots of failures. But so the way that I thought, and my natural ability to see people, I thought everyone had that. And now I realize that just like I can look at a wreck of a house and see it perfectly fixed up, no one else can.
Yeah.
Or see it furnished, where everything goes. No one else can see that. And it's like, how can you not see that? Just most people can't see it.
Yeah.
But a thing that I got recently during a breast session with Genevieve was that I'm a healer too. Well, Tracy definitely is.
Oh my gosh, Tracy is so much the healer, and I told her that. So
after your call, we did a healing session, and I'm laying on my stomach. And normally, when she gives me massages, I can't breathe at all. So she's doing this healing thing, and a wave comes over me, and I can suddenly breathe perfectly, which to me, because I can never really breathe perfectly, was such an unbelievable thing. And then for the rest of the night, I felt like I had a hangover, or I was coming down with a flu or something.
Yeah.
Right. And then woke up the next morning and felt fantastic.
Yeah. Do you, another thing with the moon in Taurus is also sometimes like avoidance of kind of dairy or anything like that, because you can
never had a glass of milk in my life.
Oh, okay. Because you get sensitivity in the nose, they get congestion in the throat, and because it rules all this kind of, it's a kind of like, whenever I see somebody there's a Taurus moon or Taurus sun, I always say to them, stay away from dairy, because and you have gate 19, which is literally sensitivity to everything, like gluten. I would watch certain foods that you're eating, even down to sensitivity of clothing, feeling of clothing, of you can wear some sort of clothing and it just doesn't feel.
Oh my God. I can't wear like a normal Oxford shirt, like a button-down shirt.
Yeah.
I hated having to wear a tie. Thank God we don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
This is how I dress. This is gym clothes, but this kind of shirt, that's all I
dress. Because you can't have restriction around your throats, and that's the type. That's the Taurus.
Oh my God, it's horrible. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's for you. It's like literally like, if I'm honest, I haven't seen as many charts like yours that has so much sensitivity and psychic abilities.
I remember as a kid getting my hair cut and I could feel it, and getting my nails cut and I could feel it.
Yeah. You definitely have got all of the clairs. And it's very interesting that the only thing that we have similar in this particular chart is we both have what's called a hanging ajna, and what that means is that it's always a sign of when it's connected to the throat center and the ajna. I have this exactly the same as you, and it's kind of like it's the ability to become a medium, and so it's that channeling ability kind of thing. And I've always poo-pooed that away. I'm like, no, I can't do it. Like you keep telling me, yes, you can, yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. So I was laughing at your chart. I was going, oh my gosh, I got the same as Gary. Okay.
Do you see how your ability to combine your talent for this plus your understanding of Joshua's teachings
Yeah.
and knowing their chart's perfect,
Yeah.
this sets you apart from everyone else on the planet?
Today was literally kind of like ding, ding, ding. It was just almost, it was just everything had clicked. It clicked and it was like, oh my gosh, yes. Because I've always never saw anything negative in a chart. And I've said that to you before because I didn't feel it. But in the background, we were always taught, look for the missing, look for the missing. What are they missing in their chart?
See, this is why we can't be taught by people in fear.
Yeah.
You know?
And I kept thinking, oh my God, that's just brought on years and years of me lack. What is something missing? What is it? And when I look at your chart, it's perfect for you.
Yeah.
And even if you didn't do the work that you're doing now, you were going to do it sometime in your life.
Yeah.
Because it's there. You were always, and you've always would have had this capability because it's in your chart. It's just sometimes the Mercury in Capricorn can kind of be a little bit more logic. It can be a little bit more.
Well, which is good, which is what I like about it.
If you need that.
The way it comes across through me is very applicable and actionable and logical.
You break things down to make people understand it.
Right.
And this is why I feel the gift of what you have with this Mercury in Capricorn is that you can make all the woo-woo practical. You can almost kind of hone it down because you've got so much sensitivity in your chart. It's inevitable of what you were going to do anyway. But you have to have a little bit of this groundedness in your chart because otherwise you'll be floated away. You would be kind of constantly floated. You needed to have this grounded, this earth energy and this practicability of that has helped you for so long in your business and everything that you've done in life. Everything is mapped out exactly how it was meant to have happened. But you needed this also to kind of ground it down because you have so much sensitivity. I feel the only way Joshua could come through to you was through this practicality of, okay, let's start at the beginning. Let's do things not full-blown whoosh. Let's ease it in easy, practical. And this is what I love about it.
It's amazing.
Oh my gosh, it's only going to get better, Gary. Hold on to your hat.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's what everyone else has been saying too,
Yeah.
You know?
And at the minute, because under tropical astrology, everybody is saying that we've got a lot of planets in Aquarius, but they're not. They're in Pisces. And when you kind of look at what is going on with the kind of the ecosystem, the climate and everything at the moment is slow. Everybody else they feel frustrated. They feel like, I want to kind of do something, but I can't do it. But at the moment, it's about slowing down, allowing all the ideas to percolate, to create. Because when it does move forward into Aquarius, that's when it's going to take off.
And when does Aquarius come about?
That is going to be around 20. Yeah, Saturn moves into Aquarius. I would probably say towards the end of this year. Jupiter's still in Pisces, so I would probably say within the next 2 years.
Yeah.
There will be a change where everything will kind of, and Jupiter will move into to Aries, so there'll be a huge almost instant of kind of movement forward, new insights, and because Aries rules the head, the eyes, the brains, so there'll be some insight in new technology into brain system, neurology and all those kind of things. So I would say the next couple of years is going to be sort of key for everybody, but at the moment, and for you in particular, it's kind of honing down, getting clear on, I suppose, what you want to do and how you want to take the business, but also enjoy the quiet time as well.
Yeah. I have this recurring, idea that enjoy your anonymity while you have it, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I can testament in kind of the work that you do, and I've done so many other works, and this is just the best for me personally, because I can see so much change in me in such a short period of time.
Yeah. And what is interesting is that, like, imagine you feel really good. You can't even imagine feeling 10 times better than that. So there's nothing to, like, I can't tell you what that's like.
Yeah.
Or imagine thinking the way you think now, and I can tell you, you're going to think 10 times clearer.
Yeah.
It's going to make so much sense to you. And when you get to that level of clarity, you're going to look back at where you are now, and you'll remember yourself in a fog.
Yeah.
But how do you explain to someone that's what's possible? You can't even convey that idea.
You can't.
Yeah.
And I always feel that people, when they're ready to listen, and they're ready to kind of, then it will kind of click. Like for me, I'll mull over things, I instantly get them, because like my Mercury's in Sagittarius, so I'll get things very, very quickly, but it'll take me a while then to kind of like ponder it, and kind of, because I've got a lot of logic in my chart, so it kind of takes me to sort of, okay, I've got to embed this in. How do I see proof of this? I need to I need to see proof of it. Where is it showing up in my life? Come on. But then all of a sudden it will just kind of go, and it's like, all right, okay, I got it now. Now I got it. So,
yeah, because I told you this.
You told me this on our first call, and I was like, yeah, right.
Everyone says, yeah, right. That's because I can see. I know exactly who you are. I can see it so easily. Yeah, right. You just say that to everyone.
I'm like, okay. Now you were right.
I told Christy that when we first talked in 2019, 2019, that she's going to be on stage. And then, just if you've watched any medium, she's 10 times more compelling.
Yeah.
Because the message is a spiritual message, not just a don't cry message,
Yeah.
The spiritual message. And and the way she does it is so interesting to watch. How she does it. It's like all these people like Jackie and you and oh my God, there's so many of them. And I can see it, and they can't see it yet. But once they go through the boot camp a couple times, then they start to see it.
Yeah, definitely.
Comes online.
Yeah. And I feel sometimes I'm a bit like you. I can see into people, because I don't like certain people who claim to be mediums, or they claim to do all this stuff, and there's something within me that doesn't connect to them, and I'm kind of going, I don't resonate with. There's something within me that doesn't resonate with what you're saying. Whereas there's people then who kind of almost stumble onto their capability and start like saying all these things, and I'm like going, yes. You've got it.
Not to stumble, but don't want to have anything to do with it.
Oh my God, yeah. Shut it down and all this kind of thing. So
I made more money my second year out of college than I make now.
Yeah.
And now it's like 200,000 a year. And back then it was like easy 200,000 a year.
Yeah.
I do that if I wanted to make money. Right?
Exactly. And this is not and this is what I see in your chart. You have the capability of making money. You have made money. You don't.
Yeah.
But it's not the reason why you do what you do. It's not
at all.
That. And
it's never been really.
No, and it's kind of clear to me, because you've got all the business circuitries in your chart. You've got everything in there that, yes, if you put your head to it, you can make money very easy. But you're also a manifester under human design, so you can literally think of something and it will happen. You have this clear vision, like you say, and you've got the Jupiter in Aquarius, so you can see the bigger picture. You can see almost kind of light years ahead of others. That thought leader that is kind of like, what's going to happen, sort of like 2 years ahead of you. You can see it clearly. But it's about, for you, it's honing in the compassion and taking people from where they are now to another place. And this is why I love the work that you do, and it's only going to get more excited.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This has been wonderful.
Thank you so much. I've loved doing your chart. I love looking at your chart. I'm always
Yeah.
curious. I've always like, wonder what Gary's chart looks like.
Well, if you want to post this anywhere, you're welcome to. And if you want to put it on YouTube and connect a
Yeah.
link to the Friends of Joshua and said, this is the reading I did for
Oh my
Gary.
gosh, yeah, can I do
If
that?
anyone wants one.
I've never posted a reading. I've never posted a reading because I've always kind of given it to kind of the client. I've said to them, okay, you do what you want to do with it. Because I never talk about it, to be honest. I've got so many testimonials and I never put them out anywhere. So
Yeah. So put this on YouTube, then put a link to the Ascension Experience, the boot camp, and Friends of Joshua.
yeah.
And you'll get people calling you to do it as well.